Welcome to Film Riot. Today we are doing another critiquing your short film. We put it out there for you guys to send in your shorts if you wanted me to take a look at it and give my thoughts on it, and you did, and now I'm going to. But a little disclaimer before we get started, these are just my opinions. These are just my thoughts. No one's word should be law, so of course take these things to heart and try them out, examine them for yourself, and if they mesh with you, if they feel right, then follow them, take them, move forward with them. If they don't, ignore them and keep going down the path that you feel you need to go down. This is my subjective opinion. There are going to be some technical things in there, sure, but nobody's opinion should be law. It's all subjective opinions, so, take it in. If it doesn't feel right, throw it out. And that's just how you handle notes in general, really. But let's jump into the first one. And I got my headphones in now so I can hear it. If you want to see the full short film, check that out in the notes below before continuing on here so you can follow along. I really dig the opening to this, jumping right into the action. That's definitely something I like to do, getting right in there with the intensity, setting the tone of what we're getting into. And I like the idea of this syringe reveal here. Very cool idea for a shot. I really like how it's bringing us into it, but there's a very big problem. It is entirely out of focus. I would have cut the shot entirely if you weren't able to go out and just reshoot it real quick. Maybe just take a camera and just go get it again, just pick up that one shot. But if you're unable to do that, like we often are unable to, I just would have cut it. This type of shot takes the production value of your whole production down. It just makes it feel more amateur than it needs to. It's such a simple thing to just lift it, and it wouldn't have mattered. You could just hear it until we finally see it on his leg, and that would have been a different version of that reveal. I like this idea of the reveal, but the shot as it is doesn't work. I don't know where I'm supposed to look, and it just feels wrong. But then we move forward, and we do have this close-up of the syringe on the tree, and the guy's hand removes it. This could have been a VFX shot. This could have been a solve for you where you could have just removed the syringe and then just in After Effects had the syringe come in and land on the tree and then the guy take it off. So that could have been a way to reveal the syringe as well. So always be thinking about ways that you can still deliver your intention even when you're figuring out ways to fix the puzzle in post. That's not going to drop your production value. I like the smash cut to the title. I like to do that myself. And then the move into the new location, which it seems like is like a basement of some kind, but later I get a little bit confused about that, but we'll talk about that in a second. And then there's some little technical stuff here and there, like take this shot, for example. It works well, but then at the very end, there's that little move up right before we cut. And just those few frames of that moving upward before we cut feels like a mistake. So when we're cutting to this, everything feels a little bit off. I'm a little pulled out now. You've lost the fluidity of shots because there's no motion to this. I mean, even if just that quick motion at the end, it's clearly a little bit of a mess up. Maybe you were on a gimbal or something like that. So just cutting a few frames earlier and getting rid of that motion up would have made this all feel a lot more confident. It's kind of the sum of all of those things, cleaning all of those things up and making it very, very tight, that will give your audience the confidence that they're in the hands of somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, which I do think you know what you're doing. There's a lot of talent involved here, which is why we picked it. There's a lot of really good things about this, but those little things do a lot to bring down that value. So you just want to be cautious and look for those things that you can easily just cut around and cut out. I dig the newspapers. All of these sell really well. They definitely look like what I would assume they would be. It all fills this very nice style of vintage and sci-fi going on, which I love to do as well. So I'm really digging on all of this. I like the music choice. That set a great tone to the whole piece. But then we have another shot like this, which is a great idea of shot. We have these lights which have black wrap on them, but I don't think anybody's really going to notice that. That shot towards the door is another one that doesn't feel really confident. The door should be my focus, but it isn't, and it has a lot to do with the camera move and how it's shifting a little bit to the right, and the door goes off center. So I'm not 100% sure where I'm supposed to look. Maybe even just a zoom would have done a lot better for you, just having it there with the guy and record player in view, and then we're just slowly zooming towards the door. And I think that would have probably accomplished what you were trying to do a lot better, given the limitations you seem to have had. But this is where the geography gets a little bit confusing for me. He's talking, and then we move down here. That shift right makes me think right, but then obviously it's this door with the locks at the end, and then we cut right into him. So we were never told that this is maybe a basement, that we go downstairs to. So now I'm assuming that he's right behind those doors because visually you've told me that, at least for me. And it seems to me that he heard what the man on the phone was saying, given how he reacts now. And if that's the case, it would have been great to have a little bit of overlap, have the guy on the phone have a few more bits of dialogue to let this guy know that his time is really ticking, which would give us more intensity to everything that's coming next. So we start with the guy on the phone. We're zooming in towards the door, or moving in towards the door. He starts his conversation. We move into him, and then in the distance from the other room, we're still hearing what he's saying, which lets us know that he's listening in, and now everything has elevated. He really has to move and get out of there, which motivates him to do all the things he's about to do. Then we have the mop situation, which I really liked. I like the idea of a character figuring their way out of a situation and us getting to watch that happen. I love it when that happens, and this was really well done. My question here was with the mirror, because now I was kind of feeling like he was right behind that door because of the locks and everything, and if that's the case, the mirror would have been heard right away, and he never would have gone about trying to break glass. So there was a bit of a disconnect here for me. Again, pulled out just a little bit on a logic situation. I felt like he would never do that. He would want to be as quiet as possible. And if we're selling the idea that the music and how the distance is what's masking the sound that's about to happen, then you really need to sell that. We need to hear that music. We need to hear the music in the other room. Maybe we cut back before he pulls it. He connects with the rope, and then he listens. We cut back with the guy who has the music. Maybe he turns it up a little bit, and we really sell the idea that he's not going to hear this because the music is so loud and the distance. And you could have used the music to create that distance. So maybe here we hear the music, but it sounds like it's coming from above and very muffled. So we're telling them through sound how far the villain is from our hero. But all of this is well shot and well paced. And another moment that gives us geography issues is the sound right here. The music sounds the same as when we cut to the other room. So again, it makes it feel like the proximity between the two characters might be a lot smaller than what you intended. I dig the gun. I believe it, and it looks weird and different. So kudos to that. I like the location. I like the wardrobe. I like the tone. I like the reveal of it's just another him. I thought that was pretty cool. Nice sci-fi element there. But this reveal that he did get out of the ropes, I think we didn't quite get there. We definitely needed a bit more of him hurrying and struggling to get out of the ropes. He's coming. And then we don't see him fully get out. So then when we do reveal that he is out, needed a bigger punctuation on the fact that he's not where he's supposed to be, that he did get out of the ropes. He doesn't know where he is before we get to this whole bit. That way we're setting the stage for everything that comes afterwards. Again, pulling back the bow completely before releasing it. And then all of this worked well enough. I thought you did a good job of hiding the fact that it's two different actors when it's supposed to be the same person. I never felt like you were hiding it. I thought you did a really good job doing that. But my one big problem with this scene was all I could think was No Country for Old Men, which you were definitely inspired by, which is fine. But it's such an iconic moment in a very iconic film currently that it's all I could think of. And it took away from your film. It pulled me out of your film because I was just thinking about No Country for Old Men and how you must really have liked that scene in No Country for Old Men. So try to keep those things in mind. Is this moment similar to another moment that's iconic? I mean, sure, people are strangled in films all the time, and it's even been done in a similar way to this in other films. But the scene in No Country for Old Men was very specific, unique, and impactful for a lot of people. So for someone like me, I see this, I'm pulled out of your moment because I'm thinking of the other one. I love the branding of the finger. Thought that was really cool. Really nice touch. I love the style of the thing overall. Feels unique to you. Feels like I'm seeing your voice and your style. So really dug that. Nicely done there. I think it's hard to pull off a style like this where you're meshing things together so much. And I thought you did it pretty effortlessly. Everything felt like it belonged together pretty nicely. My biggest problem with the whole thing was the briefcase light guy vanishes. I guess he gets sucked in Ghostbuster style, but I don't know that that's what happened. It was just very confusing and very odd, and there's nothing for me to sort of place it with that I could at least relate it to. The whole thing is very ambiguous. You're not giving us any direct ideas of what's going on in the world or why this is happening, which I love. I love everything about that sort of way of telling a story where you leave the world completely open and there's enough that we can start to put our own ideas into it. I love that sort of thing. I do that sort of thing. So I really dug and appreciated that with this short film. However, the briefcase was such a strange, unique moment that I had nothing to relate it to or to feel connected with. So it was just something that happened in passing. It was too far out there without any setup, so there's no payoff to it. I don't know why it happened. I don't know how it happened. And it was something that just pulled me out of a otherwise very good ending. And I love everything after it. I love this shot. I love moving into the record player. I love how the guys walked out. I love the color. Again, wish we weren't losing so much focus there. That does take it down a notch. So just be cautious of that in the future. But I really liked how you did the ending, pulling us out of the thing as a whole, again, with the same style that we were brought into it as. So really great job. Dug it overall. Mostly a lot of technical things that stuff that I've learned over the years of all my short films to dial in to really help the pacing or the tension or just the intention of the thing as a whole that I'm trying to pull off. So hopefully that was helpful. Really nice job with the short film. Again, check that out in the links below if you want to see the whole thing. Domain.com is all your website needs, including .com and .net domain names and an intuitive website builder so you can start sharing your ideas online. They're affordable, reliable, and have all the tools you need to start sharing your ideas with the world on a professionally built website. No domain extension is going to help you tell your story like a .com or .net domain name, and if you want to brand yourself online, Domain.com has over 300 domain name extensions to fit your needs from .club to .space. And of course, Domain.com is giving you 15% off when you use the coupon code FilmRiot at checkout. When you think domain names, think Domain.com.
Logo.
So that's it for today. Thank you to Connor Dolby for sending in his short film for us to take a look at. Hopefully we all got something out of it. I know that I did. Even when I'm watching short films and just picking apart things that I thought could have been done a little better, it's always extremely educational. I even do it to my own short films. There's a billion things. We could do a critique your short with my short film, and I would just rip the thing apart from start to finish. But it's great to do that because these are things that you start putting in that toolbox of ideas so that when you get to your next one, you're more informed going forward. It's that understanding versus the knowledge. You're understanding why it didn't work and how you could make it work better. But again, like I said before, take every opinion with a grain of salt. Be the filmmaker that you want to be. Just keep making things and keep learning from them. Always be as self-aware as possible and as critical of your own work as possible, and you'll just keep learning and keep getting better. And until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.